The law of the universe. Analyzing our words. Firstly, a wise boss never reprimands his employees. When the subordinate does something wrong, the superior should think that the instructions were not correct and should not reprimand them. If the superior is not competent, the subordinate will receive the blame. Those who are competent are judged wisely by those who are superior. In other words, the superior person must be able to fully understand the lower hand to be the upper hand. The lower hand has 30% less energy than the upper hand. Therefore, the subordinate is supposed to get the extra advice from the superiors to complete all the work. If the president of the company knows this principle, it would be wise to give different instructions and to not reprimand his subordinates during meetings. If your superior is not good enough and can't make a decision, it's wise to discuss it with other subordinates and ask questions to encourage them to find the problem on their own. It is the duty of the superior to always keep the energy of the subordinate alive so that they can do the job better. Secondly, knowing when to speak and when not to speak. When an unpleasant conversation comes and goes, there are times when you will give an immediate reaction and sometimes you will keep your thoughts to yourself. If the other person hits you with negative words and you react, this will lead to you both arguing with each other, but if you close your mouth and keep your thoughts to yourself, this will result in you gaining the ability to ignore the other person. What is the best option that you should do? In order to analyze this situation, we must first determine who is at fault. If I speak and the other person closes their mouth, I will feel frustrated because I've done something wrong. In this case, it's best to take a step back and feel empathy towards the other person because I have said something that didn't make sense to them. This is the law of the universe. However, if you don't know that you did something wrong and you try to talk to the other person and ask them why they don't answer and they don't answer again, you will become angry as you don't understand the law of the universe and remain simple-minded. No matter how knowledgeable you are, if you don't follow the law of the universe, you will become ignorant because of your desire to listen to the other person's response. From this point on, the relationship with the other person will be out of control. If we hurt each other and our hearts drift apart, we will stay apart even if we are together. Thirdly, if you're not asked, don't try to teach the other person. When we see other people's flaws and when we give advice, the other person may agree with you and then turn around and say something else which would make you feel embarrassed. Why is that? The answer is that the other person didn't ask for advice, but you gave it to them. If you are a bit embarrassed after that, it's because something is wrong. It's okay to discuss or talk with the other person when you aren't being asked, but you should not say anything that is meant to teach the other person. People often give advice because they wanted to, however the other person didn't ask to be taught. When the other person asks you to teach them, they will appreciate the lesson you can give to them. The bottom line is that when we communicate, if we can talk to each other well, we will generate pleasant energy, but if we don't communicate and have conflict with each other, we will generate bad energy. When bad energy is generated, it starts to drain bit by bit of the full energy that you currently have. When there is a conflict, it's better to stop talking and do something else. If we argue with each other for a long time, our souls will be hurt. If you hurt someone, it's natural that you're hurt too. If what you're saying doesn't make the other person understand, it's better not to say it at all. If you make it difficult for other people to understand, according to the laws of nature you will be punished accordingly. So, if you don't have enough skills to make the other person understand, you should discuss it with the other person instead of being pretentious. By knowing these laws of the universe, we can have an opportunity to look at ourselves first, because we should not complain and blame others for our faults. If we don't complain and blame others, we won't get hardships in our life. When we analyze the given content, it explains the essential principles of mutual dialogue and relationship building through the law of the universe. Here are the core points and their analysis. Relationship between superiors and subordinates. Before reprimanding a subordinate for a mistake, a superior should reflect on whether their instructions were clear. Moreover, those in higher positions need to understand the capabilities of their subordinates and provide necessary support. This emphasizes the need for superiors to understand and guide their subordinates correctly. Importance of timing in speech. Rather than immediately reacting in negative conversations or situations, it's vital to pause and assess the situation. This approach helps minimize conflicts in dialogue and aids in understanding each other's perspectives. Avoid giving unsolicited advice. Pointing out others' flaws or giving unwanted advice can push the other person away. It's best to provide advice only when requested. Significance of communication. Proper communication is essential to generate positive energy. Negative energy arising from conversations can deteriorate relationships, so it's beneficial to hold back words depending on the situation. Summary and analysis. According to the law of the universe, the most crucial aspect in relationships with others is understanding and respecting each other. Instead of unfairly criticizing or imposing one's opinions, one should think from the other person's perspective and offer necessary support and advice. By doing so, we can build better relationships and generate positive energy without depleting each other's energy. Thanks for watching.